Region shaped by strongmen, Tanzania did something few expected. It produced a woman whose quiet tone commands fear and respect alike. She dresses modestly. She speaks gently. But beneath that calm exterior lies one of Africa's most calculating and determined leaders. Her name is Samia Suluhu Hassan, the woman now described by critics as the iron hand in silk gloves. In March 2021, Tanzania's politics was shaken by the death of President John Pombe Magufuli. From the vice president's seat stepped a woman many underestimated. Few believed Samia Suluhu could hold together a system built by a man known for his absolute control. Yet within days she took command not through charisma or confrontation, but through calculation. She inherited a nation divided by fear, grief, and uncertainty. And from that chaos, she built her own path to power. To the outside world, Samia appeared as a reformer. She reopened borders, rebuilt ties with the international community, and courted investors who had fled under Magufuli's hardline rule. In Western capitals, she was celebrated as a breath of fresh air, the face of a new, business-friendly Tanzania. But inside her country, a different story was unfolding. Behind the scenes, the soft-spoken president began tightening her grip. Opposition figures complained of surveillance and intimidation. Media houses faced quiet pressure to toe the line. Political rallies were restricted, and voices that spoke too loudly were silenced politely. To her critics, this was not reform. It was restoration of control. They say Samia perfected what Magufuli began, only this time, with a smile. In the words of one Tanzanian journalist, she doesn't raise her voice. She just makes the walls close in.
Thanks for having me. And as our reaction as a party to what has been declared as electoral results today is very clear. Since there are no electoral reforms as demanded by Tanzanians, and since Tanzanians were in streets and not in the polling stations on the 29th of October, and it is clear that there was no election on 29th. And therefore, the results announced today are a total fraud, and therefore the winner or whoever claims to be the winner is not a real winner, because she has not been chosen by Tanzanians since they didn't vote for her.
So will you attempt to challenge the result? Will you actively try to challenge the result?
Unfortunately, as per the legal framework of Tanzania, when it comes to elections, you cannot challenge any results declared by the Electoral Commission. And this is part of what we were pushing for a wider or larger part of electoral reforms, so that electoral results can be challenged in the court of law. But as of now, as by the existing laws, you cannot challenge presidential electoral results as announced today. And therefore, the only way to challenge these results is by the power of the people, which is already in streets, as you have heard, because they don't want Samia Suluhu and the party.
Yeah, and you've mentioned already the protests also over the past few days. Now, we hear that those protests have been violently crushed. What can you tell us about this?
Yes, heavy force has been used by security forces, especially the police force of Tanzania, to crush the process. And as we speak now,
Samia Suluhu was born in Zanzibar, a place where diplomacy is learned early. From her island upbringing, she carried patience. From her political rise, she learned timing. And in State House, she used both. She has pushed programs empowering women and promoting education. She has restructured Tanzania's economy to attract global trade. But she has also maintained tight command of her ruling party, where loyalty often matters more than dissent. In her government, discipline comes before democracy, and efficiency sometimes walks hand in hand with fear. To many Tanzanians, she is a symbol of national pride, a woman leading a nation once thought ungovernable. But to activists, she's a warning, proof that a gentle voice can still echo authoritarianism. She doesn't seek attention like some of her male predecessors. Instead, she works in silence. And that silence unsettles many, because in it lies a question: is this the calm of progress or the calm before something else? Her ministers rarely contradict her. Her critics rarely get airtime. Her influence extends deep into the bureaucracy, the press, the courts. To the international community, she remains stable. To many inside Tanzania, she is untouchable. Some call it strength, others call it control, but both agree she is no one's puppet. 4 years into her presidency, Tanzania stands at a crossroads. Economic reforms are yielding results, but civic freedoms are shrinking. The opposition prepares for elections under the shadow of state power. The people whisper but not too loudly. And as the world watches, Samia Suluhu Hassan remains steady, a president who mastered the art of control and disguise. History has taught Africa one painful truth, that every time power concentrates too tightly in one pair of hands, democracy begins to suffocate. Samia Suluhu Hassan's leadership is a study in contrasts, strong yet secretive, popular yet feared. She may have brought calm, but at what cost? In the end, it's not about how softly a leader speaks, but how freely her people can answer. This is See Africa TV, where we ask the hard questions behind Africa's changing leadership. If you believe Africa deserves truth, transparency, and accountability, like, share, and subscribe to keep this conversation alive. This documentary is based on publicly available reports, news sources, and social media documentation, including Africa Reloaded's coverage of President Samia Suluhu Hassan. See Africa TV does not endorse or oppose any political figure. Our goal is to promote informed awareness and balanced analysis of governance in Africa.